Have you ever felt like you reliving the same pain over and over again? Like you're restuck in an emotional maze with no way out? How many times have you promised yourself, next time it'll be different? Only to find yourself back in the same place, hurting, guilty, anxious? Studies show that over 70% of our daily actions are driven by unconscious emotional patterns. In other words, while you're trying to change consciously, your brain is still running on pain that was encoded long ago. In this video, we're going to explore how to rewire your brain to break these emotional pain cycles. Together, we'll uncover what's behind this silent suffering and how you can begin, step by step, a journey toward emotional freedom. If this message resonates with you, like this video, subscribe, and share it with someone who also needs to break free from this cycle. Your healing might be the hope someone else is waiting for. But before any change, there is something you need to ask yourself. Do you feel like you keep repeating the same painful patterns? Maybe you've noticed it in your relationships, always attracting people who end up hurting you. Or maybe in those moments when you try to change your life, but something invisible keeps pulling you back. That's not weakness. That's the echo of deep emotional cycles running silently like background programs in your brain, driving your decisions, thoughts, and behaviors. These cycles don't come from nowhere. They're shaped by your past, especially the parts that were intense, painful, misunderstood, or ignored. And the more you repeat an emotion, the more your brain believes, this is the path we follow. But what if I told you that you can stop this cycle? That there's a path grounded in neuroscience, psychology, and healing practices that can help you rebuild how you feel, think, and respond. Let's walk through it together, step by step, and finally break this cycle for good. Emotional cycles are repetitive patterns of thoughts, feelings, and behaviors that get triggered almost automatically in certain situations. They form like pathways in the brain, carved out by past experiences, especially ones marked by pain, fear, abandonment, or rejection. Picture your brain as a forest. Every time you feel fear, anger, or sadness in familiar situations, it's like walking the same trail again. Over time, that trail becomes easier to follow, so your brain takes it by default. These cycles repeat because the brain prefers what's familiar, even if it hurts. To your nervous system, familiar equals safe. That's why you might keep attracting toxic relationships, or why you sabotage your own happiness when things finally start going well. There's also a chemical side to it. Intense negative emotions release neurotransmitters like cortisol, and your body can literally become addicted to those emotional states. Which means, even without realizing, it's possible you're stuck in a loop of emotional pain, kept alive by your own body. But understanding this is the first step toward freedom. Because if the brain can learn to repeat pain, it can also learn to create new paths to healing. Emotional pain isn't just a subjective feeling, it's deeply biological. When you go through a traumatic or intensely negative experience, your brain releases a cascade of chemicals, cortisol, adrenaline, and even dopamine, depending on the emotional pattern involved. Over time, if those experiences repeat, your nervous system begins to adapt. It starts to believe that being on alert, feeling sad, or staying in defense mode is the normal state. And that's how a neurochemical cycle of suffering is born. Here's how it works: emotional trigger. Something happens, a comment, a memory, an abandonment. Automatic response. Your brain pulls old memories and floods your system with stress chemicals. Physical and emotional reaction. You feel anxiety, fear, sadness, often without even knowing why. Reinforcement of the cycle. Your brain records that response as the right one and repeats it again. With time, this not only impacts your mental health, but also your body. Insomnia, muscle pain, digestive issues, rapid heartbeat. It's as if emotional pain gets stored in every cell of your body. But here's something powerful. The brain is moldable. It can learn, unlearn, and relearn. And that's what we call neuroplasticity. And that's exactly what we're going to explore now. Have you ever felt tightness in your chest and had no idea why? Or stomach pain every time you have to make a tough decision? That's not random. Your body holds emotional memories, and often it feels things before your mind can make sense of them. When you go through trauma or deep emotional pain, especially in childhood, your brain might forget the details, but your body doesn't. It remembers everything: the fear, the abandonment, the shame. And those memories show up as muscle tension, chronic pain, fatigue, sleep disturbances, even autoimmune issues. Psychology calls this somatized trauma, when unprocessed emotions become physical symptoms. And the more you ignore that pain, the louder your body screams. The good news? That same mind-body connection can also be your path to healing. When you learn to recognize the physical signals of your emotions, you gain direct access to the hidden roots of your pain, and you can finally begin to release it. Which brings us to the next point. The trauma is hiding in your unconscious, silently shaping your life every single day. Trauma isn't just what happened to you, it is what happened inside you as a result. Often, trauma doesn't come from a single dramatic event, but from the lack of support, emotional loneliness, or the pain you had to swallow in silence. And here is what most people want to tell you: unresolved trauma doesn't fade with time, it hides. And from deep within, it keeps shaping how you love, how you trust, how you protect yourself, and how you see the world. You may have developed habits like shutting down, isolating yourself, avoiding confrontation, or self-sabotaging without even realizing it. These are unconscious defense strategies your brain created to protect you from pain you've then been through. But that protection comes at a cost. It traps you in a cycle. It is like driving with the parking brake on, trying to move forward while still being tied to what hurt you. To break that cycle, you need to recognize the signs of trauma and understand how they replaying out in your life. Only then can you release those emotional chains and give yourself permission to live something new. And it all starts with how you think, especially the thoughts that show up without you noticing. Have you ever caught yourself thinking things like, "I'm not enough, this always ends badly for me," or "no one really cares about me"? Those are what we call automatic thoughts. They pop up quickly without a filter, and often without you even realizing it. And the most dangerous part, they feel true, but they're really just echoes of past emotional experiences that got wired into your nervous system. These thoughts work like shortcuts. When something even slightly resembles a painful past event, your brain pulls up a pre-programmed response based on pain. And even if the situation is totally different, you feel, think, and react like you're reliving the old trauma. The problem is, every time you repeat those thoughts, you strengthen the neural pathways linked to fear and pain. It's like pouring more concrete on an already paved emotional highway. But there's an antidote: awareness and questioning. When you begin to observe your thoughts carefully, you can interrupt the pattern. You can ask yourself, is this actually true? Or is it just my brain replaying an old loop? And that leads us into something even deeper: the limiting beliefs that hold up these thoughts and keep you locked into an identity rooted in pain. Beliefs are like lenses through which you see the world, and often they weren't chosen by you. They were installed by trauma, by the words of authority figures, by emotional pain that left a scar. If you were told over and over again that you were too much, too sensitive, not enough, a burden, eventually your brain accepted those labels as facts. And that's how limiting beliefs are born. Beliefs like, I'm not good enough, I don't deserve to be happy, if I open up, I'll get hurt. These beliefs operate in the background of your mind, quietly sabotaging your relationships, your goals, even your self-worth without you realizing it. They keep you stuck in the same patterns, dodging new opportunities, always looking for proof that this will go wrong too. But here's the truth. Beliefs are just thoughts repeated with emotion, and if they were learned, they can be unlearned. In the next video, you'll learn how hidden traumas shape your thinking, sabotage your decisions, and most importantly, what you can do to break free. Part 2 of this video will be posted tomorrow at the same time. I don't know what day you're watching this, but please look for part 2. Subscribe to the channel and leave a comment. I'll see you in the next video. With care, Elena Gray.